Okay, guys. So, next question: how does returning to sport or exercise too soon after having a baby or after surgery affect the pelvic floor muscles?
Well, we need to remember, I suppose, Louise, don't we, that it's not just the pelvic floor. Yes, pelvic floor after having a baby or even sometimes after having surgery can be a bit weak, a bit stretched maybe. But also remember that we've got the ligaments through our pelvis supporting our pelvic floor, and we've also got the fascia intertwined. And these soft structures can actually be soft. Now, so if our muscles are a little bit weak and not providing upward pressure, but also our structural support is a bit soft and not as firm, these structures are a lot more vulnerable to increases in intra-abdominal pressure, aren't they, Louise?
Yes, so that's right. So because you know what's giving you the support from underneath is maybe not so good, then what you're going to load them with from above, so is going to be, you need to be more careful about. So anything that's going to give a big increase in intra-abdominal pressure, so anything where they're breath holding, those Valsalva type manoeuvres, then that's not going to be so good for the weakened pelvic floor. And anything where they're doing like lots of double leg lowers, that type of thing, is not going to be so great. So I guess the effect on the pelvic floor, if you're going back too early, is just potentially increasing your risk of prolapse from that side. And that's probably regardless of whether you've had a vaginal delivery or a caesarean, because there seems to be the weight of the growing baby through pregnancy rather than the actual delivery.
And it is also the hormonal changes, because we
right.
find that the patients that maybe are going through menopause or are postmenopausal similarly have lower levels in their hormones, and this can alter their soft tissues as well. And so they can also be at risk if they lift weights, and we commonly see people, don't we, Louise, after menopause, who might come to us and go, I was fine, and then I lifted the grandchildren.
Yes,
and suddenly I felt things change. So I think it's just really important that we're aware that those things change, and if we don't have the structural support, we have to be very, very careful of not increasing the pressure through the area.
Yeah. And the other thing or complaint that people might have, particularly postnatally, is if they develop any stress incontinence, so they've got any leaking with the running or the jumping or that type of activity. And we're still not really clear from the research whether doing those activities actually makes the problem worse, or does it just unmask them. But you still need to talk that through with the clients as to maybe it's not the best idea to be doing star jumps if you've got some symptoms of leaking. Yeah, but it's a bit unclear.
And what would your guys' top tips, would you say, if you did intend to go back to sport?
Well, here we've had a lot of interest and I think success with women who, particularly postnatally, if they come in to see us for an individual assessment about their pelvic floor, also their abdominals often, because it does really vary. So you can apply like a general recipe, but it's different for everyone. So there's a bit of a tendency sometimes to go the conservative side and say, well, you can't do anything until 3 months. But recently I've seen a lady who sort of mistakenly set herself a goal to go in a fun run when she was going to be about 5 months postnatal. She came back to me about 2 months in and she was saying, I might have done the wrong thing. She was prepared not to do it. But once we checked her pelvic floor, she had no symptoms, she had good strength, she'd done running before. There really was no reason why she couldn't start doing it. Whereas we'll see other ladies who've been having significant leaking since early postnatal, their pelvic floor is still really not strong, and we'll be saying, no, you need to build up some strength before you try the running. So I think it's that having an individual assessment really helps. Yeah.
But, again, screening is the most important thing. And so someone might come to you as trainers and say, I just feel like I want my body back, I want to get back to running, I want to go. And again, if you've screened them and they might be throwing up a few red flags on that screening form, then you might be able to say, look, I'd love to work with you, but how about you think about just checking with your GP or checking with your local women's health physio and just getting it screened so we know, well, can you actually turn your pelvic floor on in standing? Because if you can't, then we can't really move towards running.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We start you off lying down, and as you get stronger, we progress to sitting, and then we progress to standing, and then we progress to single leg, and then we can run. And I think if you people are so valuable to us because you often do identify people who are trying to get back in maybe a little bit too quickly, and we can maybe steer them into a little bit more specific exercise.
The other thing is just to take it slowly. Yeah, so don't jump back into where you left off, because it's some people, but not many, train all their way to late pregnancy. They might have stopped at 5 or 6 months, and it might be 6 weeks postnatal at the earliest that you're thinking about doing some of these things. So don't jump in at the same intensity and time that you were doing. And it won't just be the pelvic floor that's changed dynamics and strength. It might be abdominals and it might be glutes, quite often.
Posture.
That they need to strengthen and get the range back before they embark on their usual exercise.
Great. I think that was it. Yeah.
That's it.
Cool. Yeah.
You can edit out